Kate Hudson has opened up in a heartfelt and revealing conversation about the unique dynamic she shares with her mother, the legendary actress Goldie Hawn, particularly when it comes to their shared profession in acting. The 46-year-old star, known for her roles in films that have earned her critical acclaim including an Oscar nomination for her performance in Song Sung Blue, made it clear that discussions about the craft of acting itself rarely, if ever, take place between them at home. Instead, their conversations tend to revolve around broader aspects of film as an art form and the personal experiences that come with being in the industry. During an in-depth interview as part of a series focused on actors and their journeys, Hudson elaborated on this boundary she and her mother have naturally established. She emphasized that they simply never talk about acting in the way one might expect from two people deeply embedded in the same career field. Rather, their dialogues center on films they've watched, the stories that move them, and the real-life moments that shape their perspectives. This approach stems from a deliberate choice to keep their professional lives somewhat separate from their family interactions. Hudson pointed out that her parents have never embodied the stereotype of stage parents, who push their children relentlessly toward success and entertainment. Growing up in a household where both her mother Goldie Hawn and her stepfather Kurt Russell were prominent figures in Hollywood, along with her brother Oliver Hudson and half-brother Wyatt Russell also pursuing acting careers, one might assume endless shop talk about auditions, roles, directors, or industry politics. However, Hudson described the family as being far too occupied with their own individual paths and commitments to engage in constant career advice or dissection of performances. She reflected on how this environment fostered independence and self-reliance in her approach to the craft. The family dynamic prioritized personal growth and learning through experience over constant external guidance. Hudson recalled a recent screening event in Los Angeles for Song Sung Blue, the biographical film centered on a tribute band honoring Neil Diamond's music. Her mother attended and was genuinely enthusiastic about the project. Goldie expressed her love for the movie and enjoyed asking her daughter thoughtful questions about the creative process involved in bringing the story to life. For Hudson, this moment stood out because it highlighted a rare instance where her mother showed curiosity about her work without it turning into a deeper dive into acting techniques or career strategies. Looking back on her childhood and formative years under the influence of Goldie and Kurt, Hudson described the atmosphere as one that was always centered on craft, in a respectful, hands-off way. The emphasis was on her developing her own skills and understanding of acting through trial, error, observation, and personal effort, rather than receiving unsolicited advice or critiques from her famous parents. This hands-off mentorship allowed her to carve out her own identity in the industry without feeling overshadowed or overly directed. Goldie Hawn herself echoed these sentiments during an earlier public appearance tied to the same film premiere earlier in the year. She described their mother-daughter exchanges as occasionally touching on films or projects they've encountered, but for the most part, their conversations steer toward family matters, particularly the grandchildren and everyday life joys. Goldie stressed that they avoid delving into questions like, "How's the business going?" because there are far more meaningful aspects of existence beyond work. She views their careers as something they do, not the entirety of who they are as individuals. This separation between professional identity and personal life is something both women value deeply, allowing their relationship to remain grounded in love, support, and shared family experiences rather than competition or industry gossip. This philosophy has evidently shaped Hudson's outlook on balancing fame, family, and artistry. In an industry often criticized for its intensity and insularity, the Hudson-Hawn-Russell clan appears to have cultivated a refreshing normalcy. They prioritize real human connections over constant professional networking or analysis. Hudson's comments suggest a level of maturity and self-assurance that comes from growing up surrounded by talent yet encouraged to find her own voice. It also underscores a broader message about mental health and boundaries in creative families, knowing when to turn off the work mode and simply be present as relatives. The rarity of such openness from celebrities about family dynamics makes Hudson's insights particularly resonant. Many actors speak of mentors, coaches, or parental influence in shaping their careers, but few admit to intentionally avoiding those topics at home. For Hudson, this choice preserves the sanctity of family time and prevents the entertainment world from encroaching too far into private spaces. It allows her to appreciate her mother's legacy without feeling pressure to emulate it exactly, and it gives Goldie the freedom to enjoy her daughter's successes as a proud parent rather than a fellow practitioner offering notes. In essence, their relationship demonstrates that even in a family of actors it's possible, and perhaps healthier, to keep the profession at arm's length during personal moments. They talk about the art of film, the emotions it evokes, and the stories it tells, but the mechanics of acting itself remain largely unspoken territory. This approach has evidently served them well, fostering a bond built on mutual respect, love, and a shared understanding that life extends far beyond the spotlight.